Crack the wallet.
Oh, we've done it before.
We've got rigs, character adversary, attribution mode.
With our private keys combined.
Building some kind of blockchain super weapon.
There's just a number of vulnerabilities that are in the smart contracts.
Math. It's probably scary.
They all secretly mine cryptocurrency.
What coin can I trust? Which one is cryptographically secure?
Don't roll your own crypto. CoinSecPodcast.
Is this thing on?
Is this
You're live?
Are we
You're live,
here?
Bo. You're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the CoinSec podcast.
Yeah,
You're here.
Episode 66.
66? This is the
Episode
devil
Order
episode.
66.
We should have all been wearing Star Wars character uniforms.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I thought it was Star Trek.
I can-
so-
Oh
can
my
fix this.
God, Corey.
Come on.
Corey,
Star
you're
Trek.
out.
Oh,
of
I
the
forgot
nerd
my
club.
Floorbo plushies that I paid $99 for.
Nice.
Oh
Bo.
shit!
See, Bo at least understands what's going on.
For any audio listeners, Bo is brandishing a lightsaber,
It looks
complete
insane.
with. He's brandishing a lightsaber complete with audio effects. He also has a framed portrait of Darth Vader.
Did
Oh, yeah.
you make that at Star Wars Land? Did you go through the lightsaber building thing?
It's a much more expensive lightsaber than the ones from Disney.
Wow, that is an awkward flex considering that anything that has
Yeah.
Disney on it is super expensive, right?
Super
Yeah, no.
expensive.
So the reason is because I have to actually like fight my kids and it not break. So I had to actually get one that's made out of like the
So this is
polycarb.
made out of
Steel.
real glass.
Yeah, it's very durable. I'll say that.
All right. So what do you want to do with this lightsaber? I want to beat up my kids with it. Oh,
Yeah,
say
I
no
want to
more.
make
Yeah,
sure that this thing they can take the biggest beating ever. They'll
we
never
could
know
actually
how
give
to
you the
beat it
police
again.
edition. This was used by the cops at Disney. This they use this to beat down angry children at
Yeah,
Disney.
instead of military approved, it's just police approved for beating
At
people.
Disney.
At
It's like Disney Mall Cop approved.
Oh, what a certification.
Well, guys, it has been quite a week. Some of the
something
things that have happened in the blockchain security realm this week have been pretty freaking wild. I'm actually really excited about this episode because we've got some very interesting attacks to talk about. Things that I think a lot of times we go through the show and we see a lot of the same exploits, right? We see a lot of flash loan attacks. And we see a lot of things that that end up just being repeated, and we talk about it quite a bit. But this week we've got a couple different types of attacks that I think are definitely going to be a good conversation. So episode 66 here. If you're joining us live, I'm going to throw the show notes in the Discord. And if you want to hang out with us, jump in our Discord. We're going to be in the live chat channel there. Feel free to ask any questions as we go along. Would love to hear from you guys if you have any questions. All right, so let's get started, guys. All right, so the big hack from this week, massive $190 million attack on Nomad. This was another bridge attack, right? We've seen multiple bridge attacks this year. I think this brings us up to probably $500 million at this point, or close to $1 billion stolen just in bridge attacks just this year. This is I don't think we're ever going to see the end of crypto bridges being attacked, and this is another great example of that. The thing that was interesting about this one is this so almost $200 million stolen, but it wasn't just one attacker that stole this. It was 300 wallets.
So
that all-
copycats. They were copycats, right?
Yeah.
Or most
So
of them were probably copycats.
they all kind of frenzied on this, right? And so basically what happened is there was an exploit that made that there was a misconfiguration in the project's main smart contract that allowed anyone with a basic understanding of the code to authorize withdrawals to themselves. So it was super chaotic. So Sam Zun on Twitter wrote that you didn't need to know about Solidity or Merkle trees or anything like that. All you had to do was find a transaction that worked, find and replace the other person's address with yours, and then rebroadcast it.
Which is how 300 people did it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this was wild because I was watching this as it was happening, and we'd see like a few million stolen, and be like, oh wow, something's happening right now, and then just a couple million kept going out, kept going out into different wallets, and it was just wild, right? Because people were just literally copy pasting this exploit and then rebroadcasting it. So, yeah, I mean, so the thing, like I was watching this in our wiretap channel, which we'll talk more about that later too. But basically, I set up a new channel in Discord to basically take all of the input data. So as people are talking on the chain, we can see it. And when this attack was happening, I saw multiple people on the wiretap channel basically broadcasting transactions, saying things like, "Hey FBI, so I totally didn't mean to steal this $2 million. Just let me know where to send it back to." And so I don't know. I kind of got the feeling that there was just a lot of people that they either they did know what they were doing, and they're trying to be like a white hat sort of scenario where they're trying to capture the funds so that they could return them. But I think in other cases there were more people that they literally were just accidentally stealing funds, and they didn't even realize it was going to happen. Like, see, look at this tweet right here, right? Accidentally exploited Nomad bridge for 17K.
Don't test and prod. Who would announce this? Like,
yeah, what
what
were you testing?
I also wonder, who announces this stuff? Like, hey everyone, I committed a crime.
Yeah.
Don't like, just because I'm announcing it means I'm not. You can't prosecute me. That's how it works.
Yeah, right.
That is how it works. Everyone knows that.
If you tell everyone you
ignorance
committed
is
a crime,
defense of the law, right?
Ignorance is.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's in the Constitution, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was in there. It's weird.
Yeah, so everyone was like, "Yeah, so I'm totally white hat. Just let me know where to return the funds to, and I'll return it."
I feel like the proof of being a white hat is going to be tricky to come by there. It's like, how can you, what were you researching? Because the attack was already confirmed valid. Like, what exactly was your role in this? Oh, I had to see if it worked for me.
Yeah, I love what Slugna just posted in the chat. He said, "You guys have never downloaded a POC from GitHub and accidentally stole from the bank."
Oops.
Sometimes.
Yeah, the funny thing is you had to put in your own wallet address. That's like the part the court would focus in on, right? Like, you didn't send the wallet to the Slope wallet, or you didn't send the money to the developers. You sent the money to yourself.
Yeah, and so all right, so almost $200 million stolen, right? Only about 22 million of it has been returned so far. And so I definitely saw a lot more addresses than 22 million talking about being a white hat.
So one of the interesting, this brings up a topic, right? So what if there was like government, FBI or whatever, like a wallet that you could use as a target to like return or exploit funds, like some kind of escrow situation where you're like, I'm a white hat, I don't want to capture these funds on my own personal wallet, I'm going to send them to like the bug bounty wallet or whatever it is, and then those like that target wallet is responsible for distributing the funds like fairly and legally. I could see a use for that, like the government having something where like it's like the slush fund run by the CIA or the FBI or whoever, and they just, it's a wallet that they run and they return funds, based on investigations or whatever.
I think there might be issues with like being, I guess, like implicated or attached to a crime, maybe,
Right. I could see that.
Like if you think about it, like, all right, so what if the FBI actually, like somebody that was at the FBI knew that this wallet was there, and then they actually ended up stealing funds and then sent it to this wallet to try to implicate them in the crime or something. I don't know.
I mean, I guess what I would say is it would only be the funds. It's like a collector, and the funds are only returned when investigations are done. So it would be like the money would sit there for a long time.
Mm-hmm. What I will say, one of the things that was kind of interesting about this one is because there were so many people that were trying to get Nomad to tell them where to return the funds to. I saw a ton of scammers trying to get the stolen funds sent to them, right? So again in the wiretap channel, I was able to see like actual transactions and input data where they made it look super legit. I saw a couple of them where they created a wallet address that had the same like first 4 bytes in the wallet address, and they're like, yeah, just check the wallet address, and you'll see that it matches the one we posted earlier. But the rest of it was different, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so there's stuff like that. There were people buying similar domain names and saying, hey, email stolen funds at nomad whatever. That was like a similar name.
I think you're thinking of a frenzy is the best description. It's just a frenzy of people stealing, people trying to exploit those who stole, people apparently announcing that they committed crimes but don't want to be prosecuted because they're white hats. The company, I mean, is there an official statement from the bridge, or like what is the status of that, like from their perspective, or have they even said like here's how to return the funds if you're a white hat? Or
yeah, there was a post that did actually say where to return it, but I'd have to go find it. But so the thing that's kind of interesting is that this issue came about because they were upgrading their contract. So they did like a standard scheduled upgrade of their contract, and that changed how messages were I guess checked to be proven, and that in itself is where the vulnerability came from.
Yeah, that's got to be the worst every day as a developer. All right, we're gonna push this new code, and it's gone. All the money is gone. Like that's seriously like the worst possible.
Oh God, yeah. And so the other thing is too, like I think it was QuantStamp that did an audit for them, and they pointed out that the code base that they initially audited was very different from this particular issue, right? Like this was added in after they had done their initial audit. So if you're a project and you get an audit, like don't just assume that any updates to that, even if it's just like a small 1 line of code, are going to be secure, right?
Man, yeah, that's so tough.
So if you want to kind of keep an eye on the funds that are being returned, I've got the address in the show notes there, the Etherscan link, and right now it's sitting at about 22 million. Actually, about 22.5 if you add the ETH to the tokens there. But still a lot more to go. So if any of our listeners accidentally exploited Nomad and are looking to send it back,
do not send the funds to us. Send them to the real address. We don't want to be implicated in this accidental crime.
We're done with accidentally committing crimes.
So did they halt the chain, I assume, or what did they what did they do?
So I don't think anything got halted on this one. So this was just standard, contract got exploited, and that was it.
And they took,
this isn't like Solana. This is an ETH
right, but I mean, like, what did they do? Like, is it fixed, or can you still exploit it?
I think they prevented. Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure what they ended up doing.
It's still live because they're
it's still live. Everybody's sending their money back into the same pool that keeps getting exploited.
Yeah, I'd hope so. Or I'd hope they don't. I hope they've got it locked down somehow.
I'm sure they have.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, that was a big one. There was another big issue this week as well. This was a mystery. Okay, so earlier this week there was an issue where around 9,000 Solana wallets mysteriously started sending all of their Solana tokens and coins to an attacker address, right? Like somebody else. And these were wallets that had never interacted with a DApp, had never like a lot of them had never done anything that would have like been like a token approval type of thing that we've talked about in the past, right? And it turned out that this issue was traced back to a specific wallet software called Slope. So the Slope wallet.
Well, it's the most popular and most secure wallet.
Yeah, that's right.
According to their website.
So in some investigation into the Slope wallet, it turns out that the wallet itself had a logging service called Sentry, or kind of like a telemetry kind of
a third party,
logging,
right?
Yeah, third party service that they had implemented that particular piece of code was literally transmitting the wallet's seed phrases, right, from your device to a remote server.
Which
And-
is, well, that's for troubleshooting. That's for troubleshooting. Because, see, Bo, what you don't understand is that's why you need telemetry, because if you can't help your users out in a pinch, then you're kind of, how can you claim to be the best wallet? So, if you have an issue with your wallet, I can just import it into my computer and say, well, it works for me. So I think it's a problem with your computer. And then I'll, of course, securely delete the wallet, and everything's handled securely. It's all SSL encrypted. So what could go wrong, right?
Yep, exactly. I mean, like, seriously, like, what are they doing?
It's got to be accidental, right? It's got to be accidental.
They're
This
just
is a-
like logging everything
Yes.
and sending it out instead of
Totally.
parsing for the stuff they need and not leaving your
Exactly.
keys on the device. Right?
That would be my guess, right? Because, so there's some tweets. Let's talk about Sentry. It's an event logging platform used for reporting errors in the apps. If a certain event occurs in the app, a request containing the details is logged to the Sentry. Many companies use this, but usually it's like, oh, you tried to order, 2 pairs of jean shorts and only one was completed. Here's like the, page you were on and the device, like, device fingerprint or whatever. It's not usually like, oh, here's your social security number, credit card number. Like, at least I'm sure in their setup guide, it says, do not, like it says right there, you're supposed to configure it to scrub sensitive info. Which means when they set it up, they probably just said, oh, everything. Or they just said, oh, we forgot about the mnemonic. So there's an example of a, intercepted request that basically has the seed phrase being sent to the Sentry. And then as far as how that was compromised, who knows? Maybe someone found that bug. Someone found the bug and then exploited the Sentry server, or like insider, who knows?
Yeah, so this is their mobile wallets, right? So iOS and Android.
I think only Android was affected from what I read on only like certain versions of the Android app had this bug.
Lovabird says, I believe they're sending it to a server that people stumbled upon.
And it has to be an open S3 bucket, right?
That would not surprise me.
That would not surprise me.
So, yeah, I mean, as far as this seems like kind of a combination of things. Number one, third-party integrations are hard, right? You go to integrate this third-party tool. We'll just set it up and get it running, and cool. It's running, and you don't realize that it's actually capturing 9,000 seed phrases. Then probably a traditional security fail of compromising that server, right? Or either it was compromised directly, or there was some other leakage, like it was going to Sentry, like it was going to another third party. Maybe the domain expired or something. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, what Steve just said about an S3 bucket, that's totally plausible, right?
it's for troubleshooting, right?
Yeah, it's only supposed to be like telemetry logs. Like,
Right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, it's only you're supposed to scrub it for sensitive data. You did scrub it for sensitive data, right? Like it says in the setup guide, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure this. I mean, to me, and we were talking about this before the show. Like, this is the swan song for Slope. Like, you can't recover from this. Like, it even said, and their statement is so lackluster. It's like, we're looking into it. We don't have any details confirmed. Even some of our founders and developers' wallets were drained. So.
Yeah, and so, like, I don't think we said the number, but it was about $6 million that was stolen in various tokens in Solana.
No exploits, no nothing. Literally just import someone's mnemonic and send the funds yourself. No bugs to patch. No, nothing you can do.
Lavabird in Discord chat posted a nice link if you guys want to check that out for SolScan, and it shows the transactions between the hacker wallets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a great dashboard.
That's so interesting. Like, just sending your seed phrases. They did say, the Slope developers said to change your seed phrase, which hopefully
and
it's
use a non-Slope wallet. Yeah, don't use our wallet anymore.
Yeah,
they didn't say that. They said to regenerate your seed phrases, but I don't know if that's enough, right? Because if the telemetry is doing the same thing, the attacker could have control of that server still and just be collecting even more.
Yeah, it seems like
There
they
was-
have to update the app at least.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to point out too is they there was at least one or a couple, maybe even a couple cases of where ETH wallets were affected too, and this caused a lot of confusion, right? Because it's like, well, how is that connected, right? How is ETH connected? And it turned out that people had reused their seed phrases from their Solana wallets on the ETH side.
For sure.
And so the attackers not only checked did the Solana wallets have funds, but they checked their ETH addresses as well.
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, someone posted in the chat as well, but and they said this in the like vulnerability disclosure. This is why you use a hardware wallet. Hardware wallets are not affected. We've talked about it many times. We've recommended it many times. I mean, I guess it's hard for NFTs and stuff like that. This is kind of what that app was targeted to, is like no mint fees and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, that's a lot of cash to have sitting around in a mobile phone. Because if someone, you know, depending on how it's set up, I guess you can store, and it even says on their website, if you lose your seed phrase, we can't help you recover it. Like, you're lost, which actually isn't the case. They can, but also 1,000 hackers can also help you recover it. So, rip.
Another interesting point on this one. So there was a thread by OtterSec, Twitter thread, and one of the things they pointed out is that over 5,300 private keys, which were not part of the exploit, were found in the Sentry instance. So I guess they ended up getting access to the data. Maybe they're helping out the Slope wallet. And one of the things they pointed out is that 2,358 of those addresses have tokens in them. Still, that's in that list. So if you use Slope, you need to go move your funds, right? So there's still like over 2,000 wallets that are in danger of having their funds stolen.
Wow.
I mean, it is funny there in the post. It says a hardware ledger or a centralized exchange, which like it brings up the question of like, at this point, is this any better? Like, I feel like these kinds of wallets, are they better than just using a centralized exchange? I feel like it's kind of hardware wallet or nothing. Other than the wallets we've actually talked to, you know, the founders of wallets that do like multi-key, multi-sig or whatever, you know, they spread the like Keybase style where the key is spread out over multiple devices and all that stuff. But I mean, it's just a funny, crazy developers. Like we've talked, you know, developers have been in the on blast in the last hack we talked about too, because they just published an exploit that people could copy and paste. But like, it's hard. Like you need telemetry for certain things, but you can't just compromise the entire wallet for telemetry. That's a massive mistake, and it's totally on them. This is like so cut and dry. Even just the presence of those seed phrases being sent, that's the equivalent of just the entire wallet security being compromised right when you import a wallet. So it's an inappropriate, bad, huge mistake as the developers, and we're going to be really hard for them to recover from this.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. So next story we got ZBExchange. So this was another somewhat of a mystery this week. So I need to go see if they've had any updates since the last time I looked. But they like announced that something happened, and then for a couple of days they hadn't announced anything after that. So all right. So nearly $5 million has been drained from the digital asset exchange ZB.com's hot wallet, and a likely hack. Is 4.8 million in total in over 20 cryptocurrencies, including SHIB, USDT, and Matic, had been transferred out of the exchange on Tuesday. The tokens were then sold on a number of decentralized exchanges for Ethereum. ZB.com has not confirmed whether it has been hacked or not yet. The company halted withdrawals on Tuesday and posted a temporary maintenance message. So I'm actually really curious. So I looked yesterday and there wasn't any updates, but I want to see today if they've got anything new.
So I just went to their
but
website and it says they're the most secure digital asset exchange, so I don't see how this is possible.
Yeah, so the last update, let's see.
We need a blockchain mystery wagon, like on Scooby-Doo. So every time one of these happens, we put the team together, we go roll on site and try to figure it out.
Yep. All
Roll
right, so
on
check
It
us
was
out.
old man Jenkins.
So today is August 5th. The exploit happened on August 2nd, and that's when they announced a temporary maintenance and suspension of currency. And since then, they have not tweeted. I
Uh-oh.
don't believe they posted any other messages. I'm trying to see
Rug
on their
pull.
site if they have any
Rug
new
pull.
announcements. Nope. Yep. Same. So it's been 3 days, and all that's been said so far is due to the sudden failure of some core applications, it still takes time to troubleshoot the problem. Deposit and withdrawal services are now suspended. Please do not deposit any digital currency before recovery. Any change is subject to the announcement. We apologize for any inconvenience caused, and thank you for your patience. And that's it. Like,
Brace
nothing
for impact. That's crazy. Yeah, someone already posted a tornado meme in chat. I hear a twister coming.
I hear one.
I don't even the sudden failure of some core applications. I feel like there's got to be either internal politics or it's a rug. Like either all the developers had been like complaining about this for months and it finally got exploited and they're like we're done. We're over this. Like we're walking away. Like either the entire team just walked away from this company or they're retiring to Costa Rica with their stolen funds. Like that's just you can't go. I mean, in traditional like finance, you can't go 3 days without an update. In blockchain, 3 days might as well be 3 years without an update. Like that's insane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
At least tweet and be like, "We'll get your funds back."
Funds are Sefu.
At least give false reassurances. Everything will be fine. That's standard.
As our tornado alerts go off in our Discord.
Yeah. Follow along in the Tornado Watch channel.
Yep.
You can watch the money get mixed around by the developer. Exploit party.
Exploit.
Yeah, there's actually another story that maybe we should talk about it next week because I didn't include it this week, but I saw a very interesting story about a quote unquote project. It kind of reminded me of this, where they had 11 developers, but it was all one guy, and he was like giving grants to himself. Like he was like pretending to do like PRs as like 11 different people.
Oh
this
my.
project. Yeah.
That sounds tough to manage.
Yeah.
And then when he ended up, he also had a hacker persona that was going to steal all the money at the end. And he forgot to switch accounts for that. So it was actually the developer that stole all the money.
Yep. Well, maybe we'll talk about that one next week. All right. So we'll hopefully get an update from ZB. Maybe it was just an exploit. Maybe they'll get the funds back. You got to be a little optimistic.
Yeah. If you
so
use ZBExchange, don't use ZBExchange for now.
Yeah, I would recommend not using it. All right, so moving on, we've got the next. We got a couple of vulnerabilities that I thought were pretty interesting. That had some interesting posts on. So this first one, Moonbeam missing call check vulnerability. So White Hat Pwning.eth submitted a missing call check critical vulnerability to the Moonbeam network via Munify. Now he ended up getting over $1 million in this payout, which is like
nice.
Crazy, right? Like that's a huge bounty.
But 100 million could have been affected by it. So
right. Yeah, and it's funny. Like if you read through his post, or their post, I guess we don't know if it's he or she. If you read through their post on the bug itself, like towards the end of it, they're like, yeah, I know the market's rough and people are having a hard time, so I really wanted to do the right thing here.
That's funny. I mean, it's how it's supposed to work, right?
Yeah.
Like this is like we've talked about this going wrong so many times. This is how it's supposed to work. You issue the fix, you pay the person well, you want to incentivize them instead of stealing 100 million to get a million of real, good old taxable greenbacks that you don't have to hide it for 10 years to use. So it's a very interesting. What was the actual exploit? You said it was a failed check or call check?
Yeah,
Is that like
so
a
this
function?
one was very, very complicated. So I tried reading through this one and, tried reading through like the posts, and honestly, like I had trouble following along with this one. But the gist of it is that the security vulnerability was found within Frontier, the substrate palette that provides core Ethereum compatibility features within the Polkadot ecosystem.
So it's multiple layers. What is Moonbeam? Is it a bridge or what? I don't know what Moonbeam is.
I think it's an asset. I think it's a token.
I don't know, but the dude's name, Poning.eth, that's worth $1 million right there.
Oh, yeah.
So Moonbeam is a multi-chain Ethereum compatible smart chain contract. It says parachain, so it's like a cross-chain.
Yeah, that's what
situation.
Polkadot calls. There's the Kusama network is like the precursor to Polkadot. It's like the dev chain, I guess. But Kusama's traded, and so is Dot.
Either way, this is how it's supposed to work. We wish we reported more stories where it works like this. $100 million hack? No, $100 million hack prevented by White Hat.
See, kids, you get paid for doing good work.
Yeah. I mean, the real question is, why didn't we find this? I want $1 million.
Well, let's get to work.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds way over my head complexity-wise, but
yeah, why can't we get InfoSec bug bounties like, hey, I found cross-site scripting that'll be $1 million?
Well, dude, you joke about that, but the reality is, how much do you think the payout would have been if you found that Sentry thing in Slope?
Probably 10,000 for like an InfoSec person. Yeah, probably like if it was an InfoSec, probably like 10,000.
Right, like
But
if
if
it's
they
sending your
turn that
social
in-
security numbers and credit card numbers to a remote server, you might get like 10 grand for it.
Well, but this is different because it's seed phrases, right? And it's who knows, because they didn't use a public bug bounty system like whatever HackerOne or something
Immunifier,
like
HackerOne.
yeah, whatever. But they did have a thing on their help docs that says if you find a bug, email support at slope.finance. So there is the chance you could have, and it wasn't hard. You
email them and they're like, shit, they know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it was a hard, like, unlike this insane cross bridge, parachain, ridiculously complicated smart contract. It's as simple as downloading the app, firing it up in Burp, importing a wallet, capturing, whoops. So, we should have found it, I guess, is what I'm saying. But I guess if you spend all your time downloading every wallet, you're going to have a lot of wallets on your phone, and it's going to take a minute.
All right, moving on to the next story. So the next one is another vulnerability. This was a price manipulation vulnerability in Strips Finance. So the blockchain security team at Amber Group discovered a critical vulnerability in Strips Finance's perpetual interest rate swap automated money maker or market maker. The vulnerability would allow an attacker to manipulate the fixed market rate and drain funds from the insurance pool and all of the AMMs. At the time of discovery, around 3.5 million USDC were at risk.
We've been patched 90 days, sent initial report. Interesting. So this is, again, an example of how it's supposed to work. They did responsible disclosure. They sent the company how it works. They fixed it, and now they're disclosing it so, they can get the PR and hopefully other people can learn from their mistakes. So this looks complicated. What
looks like some arbitrage doing here cross network. According to this function, they formulated a bold hypothesis if the fixed rate can be manipulated into a diminutive rate. So they're doing actual math here, which is beyond my realm of
it's like economics.
Yeah,
it's like economics of like market making. I mean, it's so interesting. Like, you think about these like bug hunters. You're not just like fuzzing some random service with 4,000 A's. Like, in this case, you actually probably have to understand the finances of how all this works. And like, I'm assuming if you're like some kind of crazy actuarial scientist or whatever, if you were to look at some of this stuff, you're like, that doesn't make sense. Like, it wouldn't pass a sniff test potentially, but it's a vulnerability in like an economic sense, it sounds like, which is just totally mind blowing when you think about it. It's like, hey, do you guys know how finance works? Because you can't do this. You can't just print money and then, decrease the rates or whatever. So
it looks like they had fixed a funding rate before that, so the fix, they basically found a way around previous fix. So that's kind of cool. I like seeing this kind of stuff where people or companies or organizations do something on the blockchain, they get it audited, and then they do a fix, and then they do what they're supposed to do and get audited again. Or you should be checking your code every time you push something new, hopefully before it actually gets pushed, right?
So this looks like a price manipulation attack, right?
Yeah,
So,
it is.
Yeah.
and it's like a pump and dump type of thing with flash loans. Like I wonder how they actually fixed it, right? Because I wonder if they put limits or that's such an interesting attack. You can accumulate these short positions. You can then cause the price to drop, then sell your short positions. Like it's like price manipulation. So fixing that has got to be hard. Yeah, short-term mitigation, and they ended strips v1 entirely. So they basically decided, it seems like they completely nuked this entire smart contract and deployed a new version, that V2 version.
V2. Yeah, like you said, you could put in less than 200K USDC. That would be adequate for accumulating the short positions enough to generate profit. And then with the help of flash loans, you don't require that much upfront. So looks like they showed a profit of 1.6 million from their POC from a single market and insurance pool. So keep in mind this affected more than the one market, right? It's a market management system. So.
Yep. So again, good case of find a vulnerability, report it, get paid out. So
Yep.
Remember that. All right, moving on. So the last item for today I've got is some new Discord bots that we've been working on. So, so for a while now, actually, I've been trying to just like pull any kind of interesting data that I can from the chain. And one of the things that I've been wanting to do is try to set up like alerting mechanisms around certain events. So specifically, right now, we've got a bot set up to watch Tornado Cash, which we talk about pretty heavily. And what it does is it watches for deposits in a period of 24 hours, where basically it just keeps track of every address as it's depositing ETH into Tornado, and it will alert on certain values. So right now it's set up, I think it's for 200 ETH, 1,000 ETH, 2,500 ETH, 5,000, and 9,000, I think, are the totals I've got in there.
And every time there's a transaction, it goes. Bah, bah, bah.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And the idea there is like, if you're interested in doing some kind of R&D into like the latest attacks, it might provide some leads, right? To go look and see, okay, well, somebody just put 1,000 ETH into Tornado. Where did that come from, right? And like what I like to do is to go, I added the Etherscan links in there, so you can actually see the transactions. You can see the wallets came from. What I would do is I would take the wallet addresses that deposited into Tornado, and then go and see, okay, well, can we trace this back to a specific exchange, or can we trace it back to a specific smart contract where all these funds came from? And that might indicate some kind of breach, right? The other one is an input data extraction tool. So whenever you send a transaction on Ethereum, or actually any blockchain really, you can add in input data, which is you can pretty much put whatever you want in there. So people tend to use it for messaging a lot, and this is something that I have found extremely fascinating, is watching the transactions as people are sending various messages back and forth. And we've seen all kinds of crazy stuff so far. Like if you just kind of peruse through the wiretap channel in the Discord, you'll see lots of just garbage, right? You'll see like the IPFS links that get tied to NFTs. You'll see a lot of just like random data that tends to be out there. But then pretty often you see messages, like actual messages from people to other wallets. And I don't know, I've seen like all kinds of stuff, like from taunts. Like there was one the other day that I sent the guys where the message was basically use better AV. Like it just said use better AV. And then I went and I looked, and the wallet that was taunting this other wallet looked like they had drained all of the ETH from them. So it appeared to be an attacker that had just straight up like stolen funds from somebody, and then they were taunting them after that, saying use better AV. So
there's like threats too. There was one that's like, I found 580A. Send me the wallet address if you don't want me to drain the account or whatever.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to see into that stuff on the chain.
Like, that's weird. My wallet's saying it was
and
stolen.
You can always tie them in. Like, you'll see, like, when something's happening, like an attack, people will start, hey, I didn't, like, I think during the Solana one, people were saying, I didn't steal this money. I returned it and things like that. So you see all kinds of weird chats in here and links to IPFS, which is, NFT stuff.
It's just funny to watch for sure.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely some interesting like R&D stuff to be done here too, like research and development. Like we've seen, it's a very new thing, right? Like, and we've seen questionable things. I'll just say that much, like questionable in the sense that they seem like they shouldn't be posted to the blockchain. And like I think that. It's like if you imagine like wiretapping the internet, right? Like what kind of crazy shit would you see, right? Like that's pretty much what this is, right? Like it's wiretapping the Ethereum blockchain currently, right?
Oh, that's a good one.
Seeing messages. All right, so what do you got? Which
one? That one is just like blah. But if you go down, there was a funny one that was like, please return minus a bug bounty, my funds. That one's good. Right. Hi, I made a mistake when I was messing around with OpenSea, and your bot took about 90 ETH from me. I would really appreciate it if you could keep 20% as a bug bounty and send the rest back to me. Here's the transaction. Please, please, please do the right thing.
Oh my God. I wonder if that's that one we talked about last week. Remember? The guy who put in the ENS bid for like 100 ETH.
Oh yeah.
And is it? So go to that copy that transaction.
If you click on Etherscan. Oh no, that's different. Never mind. Click. Yeah.
No, it should work. Copy the transaction, the 0x12AF, and then go to Etherscan and paste that in. Oh, it's in there. Right there.
Yeah, copy that. Etherscan.io, and put it in there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting to see. Yeah, so totalrecaller.eth is the one sending this.
So yeah, we're working on setting this up for additional chains as well. And if anyone has ideas or anything, feel free to post them, and we'll.
Yeah, for sure.
We're a community. We can try to build some of this stuff together.
Yeah, and I'd love to get new suggestions too, because like I said, right now we're watching Tornado. I'm working on grabbing the withdrawals.
Yep,
as well.
This is it. This is the ENS.
Oh my God.
It is. Look.
It is. This is it. Yeah, it's
token ID ENS. Yep.
Yeah, the ENS name was like it was long. What do you see the ENS name? The actual
name? Maybe if you click on where it says Ethereum name service, that address possibly.
Token ID.
Yeah, scroll down right there. Transfer of Ethereum names ENS.
Click on that ENS Ethereum
Is it the
name.
Buy my domain, please, or
yeah, right there.
No, go back.
No.
If you go back, you might be able to click the transaction of the ENS that was transferred from. Click on that token ID.
Yeah,
where it says 244. Yeah, right there. Click that.
Inventory, I think.
Does it say what it is? Token ID.
Here, click on inventory.
Yep.
In the
total recall.
Click on inventory right there in the middle, Ryan. Yeah, right there. There you go. So scroll down. So buy my domain, please. .eth.
Oh man, that's hilarious that we saw the two together.
So is that is it front running? I don't even know what it is. It's like it's checking for a contract that is to purchase the domain and then buying the domain and selling it back to them. It's so funny.
Yeah. So I mean it's tough. I'm trying to see if we can see the exact.
So basically, the attack for those we talked about it last week, but basically the attack is someone sold a domain to a bot thinking, oh, I just made some money from a bot, haha. But they didn't realize that they had a contract to buy the domain back for much more. So the bot basically bought it from them, then automatically sold it back to them for a much larger fund or much larger amount of money. So they basically didn't realize they had a purchase out for that. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see that article.
There's so many, like, I mean, we're scrolling through on Etherscan, just so many, like, people posting about their stolen Ethereum domains. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, we see stuff like that. I mean, it's entertaining in one extent, especially when these big hacks happen. Like we mentioned earlier, when we were watching the Nomad hack, whenever that was going on. Like I saw multiple posts. I think I might have linked one in the mods channel. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Where they were like, oops, like, like I totally didn't mean to steal this. Anyways, yeah. So if you want to check those out, jump in our Discord. There's the Tornado Watch channel and Wiretap channels right now, and we're going to be adding more. If you want to get the alerts, if you want to get the actual tornado alerts, in the threat intel overview page or the channel, there's a message there. If you just click the tornado emoji to react to it, then that'll add a role to your account in our Discord that will get you any alerts for tornado. So it'll automatically tag you. But yeah, if you guys have any other fun ideas for bots you'd like to see, let me know. We can grab pretty much anything from the chain. It's actually there's one that I want to look
Except
at.
Solana, it's very intermittent. It'll come and go as the chain goes up and down, right? We can't.
Yeah, I can't promise any uptime on Solana. But yeah, so we'll keep working on those and see if we can get some more in there. Anything else, guys? I think that pretty much covers it for this week.
I think
No.
that covers it.
So many big hacks, so little time.
Yep.
Yeah, and interesting ones too this week. Not our average flash loan and rug. So
Rugs, flash and rugs.
Yep. Cool. Well, I guess if that's it, then we'll talk with you next week. Thanks for listening, everyone, and go do all the smash and subscribe buttons and liking and all that stuff.
Purchase the NFT of the subscribe button.
Perfect.
Officially, CoinSec Podcast has no NFTs, so
that was a joke.
Don't get scammed.
Don't waste your money on NFTs. Yeah.
Yes. Don't do it.
People don't know. Yeah. Don't do it.
all right, thanks everyone. It was awesome.
All right, everybody. We'll
All right.
catch you next week. Thanks for listening.